Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When China first opened its doors and its economy in the 1980s, former Chinese Communist Party leader Deng Xiaoping was able to penetrate the financial interests of U.S. firms, the media, think tanks, and individuals, including politicians. In essence, he used what was called the invisible hand to get Americans to do work for the CCP. This practice of elite capture continues at a rapid rate today. Ms. Kissel, could you explain what elite capture is and how it's employed by the CCP today?
So the topic of this hearing is defending America from the Chinese Communist Party's political warfare, meaning their influence operations, and I spoke about how they do that at the State Department with our diplomatic elites. What you're referring to is the organized activity of CCP directly linked and indirectly linked organizations to capture our elites, to convince them to work on behalf of the party and the party's interests. This is done through overt ways, by, for instance, payments or contracts, and ways that are in what I would deem the gray zone, and I spoke about this in my written testimony, where they would, for instance, invite corporate CEOs to China through business chambers, give them a red carpet treatment, grant them audiences with Xi Jinping and other top leaders. This is a way both to capture them, but also to circumvent any tough conversations that they might have with our U.S. government leadership. That's something that I believe that this committee should investigate, not just the influence on the federal agencies, but CCP influence on our state and local government officials. That's also a big problem for us.
So elaborate on the business partnerships. How are they direct and, you said the word overt, are they direct in saying, we'll do business with you if you provide information for the CCP, or how does that usually operate?
Again, I think context is important. For 40 years, Republican and Democrat administrations alike encouraged U.S. businesses to outsource to China, and they did so. So this happened over a long period of time, and we've only recently woken up to the threat. How does this capture happen? It happens through flattery. Come to China and be lauded and have these high-level audiences. It happens through their own pecuniary interests. They're rewarded, as Eric, I think, spoke to, their fiduciary obligations to their shareholders to make money. They also prey on the fact that there isn't the kind of patriotism in corporate America that we used to see. Look at what Jamie Dimon, for instance, the head of J.P. Morgan, said recently. He said, I'm a patriot. If the U.S. government tells me to get out of China, I'll get out of China. So this is a country that's committing crimes against humanity and genocide against its own people, and yet he's not going to get out of China until he's told to do so. Now, our firm isn't involved in China because we have owners who are patriotic Americans who wouldn't do business there. There are many other Americans like that that you don't hear about. But this elite capture is a significant problem because these figures, be they diplomats, be they CEOs, chairmen of boards.
Or politicians.
Or politicians, they have significant influence on you all. And so it's why transparency and clarity and talking about this regime are so, so important.
So what are some of the most egregious examples that you've seen with politicians?
Well, again, I don't want to make this a partisan discussion because I think that this transcends politics.
I can do that for you. So let me ask this. Would sleeping with a Chinese spy be an example of elite capture?
Yes.
Okay. President Biden claimed that his family never took money from China. Is that accurate?
Again, I'm not here to have a partisan political discussion. I think that this
I appreciate
here's what we talk about many aspects of the threat from China. Here's something that I would.
So let me ask in a different way. If money $40,000 flowed through different bank accounts that were associated with a family member, would that be an example of elite capture that flowed into a personal bank account?
Here's what I wish we would discuss. We are facing an enemy with 400 nuclear weapons, a million-man army, the third largest Air Force, the world's largest Navy, a probable chemical and biological weapons programs. They attack our satellites every day. They're cutting cables. We have threats to our infrastructure here at home. And as the topic today is, we have influence operations.
I'm almost done. So, Ms. Kissel, I just want to say,
United States.
you're
To me,
absolutely right.
That's the issue.
You're right. I just want to recognize, though, that we have a responsibility to investigate the outcome of the millions of dollars that have flowed in from the Chinese energy company to Biden family members. Thank you.